Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new session of the Journalism AI community calls. In this opportunity, we have Kiunga with us. Kenneth, he's been very generous in the past few times, and today to share because he will share with us some tools and opportunities that we can leverage with AI to produce content and do some research that helps our journalism. So Kenneth is the GNI trainer for Sub-Saharan Africa, and he's been working around newsrooms for a while, and he knows a lot about the challenges that journalists and newsrooms face in the day-to-day, and specifically with AI. So Ken, thank you. Welcome again to the sessions.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thanks again for having me. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. And I'm glad to be here again to just take you through some of the tools that we have at Google that specifically just address the needs of journalists and the media landscape and media industries. I believe for those who are just joining us, I think Anna asked us to just put it in the chat section where you're joining us from, maybe your role, so that I can also just have a look at that, because we might not have enough time for everyone to introduce themselves. Just put it on the chat section where you're joining us, the city or the media house, and probably your role. Today, because we only have an hour or so, it will be very brief. I'll just be picking a few tools specifically on Gemini and maybe a mention of Notebook LM, just showing you what you can do with the tool. Maybe some of the functionalities might be familiar. You have used them. Some might be new, but it's just probably just to mention what you can do with these functionalities within Gemini and Notebook LM. Ideally, maybe Gemini takes just 2 hours when you're going in depth, but I'll just try my best to quickly just give you an overview, and then I'll give maybe 10 minutes at the end for Q&A, but you can also drop your questions on the chat section, or you can even just put your hand up. I'll see it, and if you can interrupt me if you need to. So let me just quickly go to the introduction. So we'll be looking introduction, very quick overview of what GNI is about, what we do, and Gemini. Then we'll get to Notebook LM in that order. So a very quick overview is that Google exists to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That was the mission 25, 30 years ago. It remains the same. And now with the age of AI, we are accelerating that, just organizing that information, making it very accessible within seconds, and organizing it in a way that makes it useful. And that's the same principle, the same objective that media houses exist, that you organize information, you make it useful and accessible to your audiences. Then we exist to achieve 3 objectives, and that's the Google News Initiative. We advance the practice of quality journalism. So we provide training such as this. We work with publishers to strengthen their business models. So we have a division within Google News Initiative that works directly with publishers, just to see how we can evolve that business model, strengthen it. And we work closely with the global news community, including Journalism AI, to come up with solutions to discuss some of the problems that might be impacting on the news ecosystem. When it comes to AI, our goal is to make AI helpful for everyone, including audiences, including the media industry. And we have been doing that for quite a number of years, by the way. And the tools that we'll be looking at today, you'll see how they address and speak to some of the challenges maybe you might be having. I'll quickly just mention a few tools that are AI powered. I'm sure you're aware of Google Lens. We have 12 billion visual searches a month. We have Google Maps we have used AI to map 1 billion buildings globally, and the people who use the AI features within Gmail are now approaching almost 3.5 billion now. So our responsibility is to make AI safe, transparent, and built for the public good. So when it comes to AI, and especially the media landscape, there are several use cases. You might want to use AI for article translations and text-to-speech. That's something that we have seen media houses quite keen on, to convert their articles, to convert their content to text, from text to speech. So you want to reach new audiences by making content more accessible. We have seen media houses using AI for quick summaries and creating content for social media. We have seen also for, and we'll be looking at some of these examples, image and video creation, creating podcast quizzes and FAQs from the content that you have. You just put it in an AI tool and it quickly, creates these formats for your audience. Then you can generate compelling copy for soliciting new advertisers, donors, or subscribers. And we'll also be looking at how you can use Gemini for code and prototype creation. So this is some use cases for AI. And I had Anna mention that you probably will be getting into that program where you create a solution, prototype that you can use in your media house or in your workflow. So let's get into Gemini. So the way I'll be doing this, I'll quickly show you some features, and then we actually go to Gemini. We create something together. I show you some use cases that I have created, so that it's a bit practical, and you see how you can create some of the features that are within Gemini. So if you are thinking about Gemini, so this is some of the ways that you can use Gemini. So you're thinking about coming up with story ideas, story angles. You can prompt Gemini to do this. You can use Gemini to summarize sources, highlight key details, and surface context claims. You can use it also to trace provenance timelines. So this is more of cross-checking information and ensuring that there are credible sources that can be linked to your content, which also links back to fact-checking. And then you can also just think about how do you use Gemini to streamline newsroom workflows. So we look at how you can use it for research, to drafting, adapting stories for different platforms. I'll show you all that in a minute. So there's image. We'll be looking at how do you create images with Nano Banana. We'll be looking at deep research, audio, and I can show you where to go to audio and gems. Also, we'll also create that very quickly. Just a very quick background. I just mentioned this, just assuming that someone maybe not be familiar with Gemini, but you can access Gemini on gemini.google.com, have it on an app, whether that's Android or on Apple, so you'll be able to get that. But that's what we'll be using today. So I'll be using gemini.google.com on web, but you can have it on your phone as an app. And the background, I just quickly go through the background on prompting. Just a minute. Yes. So I'll not go too much detail on prompting. All I need to say is these are the sort of the key top basic kind of ingredients when you're thinking about prompting. The persona, the role. You want to specify the role you want Gemini to assume. You want to put the tasks, so you clearly state what you need help with. So you break it down in small bits, and then you define the audience. And then you can also include context and constraints so that you narrow down your prompt so that it gets it right. And maybe you can also include the format. All the examples I'll be showing you will sort of follow this kind of narrative in terms of the prompt, and we'll be getting into that in a minute. Just want to get through that. So this is an example of a good prompt, a better prompt rather. So you're a fashion this is a fashion and lifestyle editor or a writer. You want to be more specific in terms of the prompting. So act as a highly experienced fashion journalist as the persona. Suggest a pitch for a series of evolving fashion industry stories. That is the task, and it's very essential. And then you can narrow it down to the audience. Maybe it's Gen Z men and women in Kenya. I'm based in Kenya, Nairobi, but I handle sub-Saharan Africa. Maybe that's how I put it there. And then the content should be original for a demanding and well-informed group. That's the context or the restrictions. And then you can also include the formats like videos, tables, and so on. I think now I'll actually get into the tool itself so that I show you, we can have a look at some examples. But if you're looking at, creating images, you can use Gemini 3, which is powered by Nano Banana. But I want to use an example that is relevant, that is current. A number of you are in this call. If your team is playing in the World Cup, let me see a thumbs up if your team is playing, or you can just drop it. Good stuff. Okay, so that's good stuff. Okay, if your team has already won a match, a thumbs up or a celebration. Okay, all right. So I want to use a World Cup scenario. So you are an editor, a digital editor. You are responsible for coming up with a strategy for World Cup reporting. And that means end to end, from design to story ideas to platforms that can be used. So that's the example I'll be using. And I hope it resonates true for most of you, and probably because I'm using it because now people are just following the World Cup. Let me now go to the Gemini tool so that you see how we are going to approach this. So as you're here, so this is the homepage, gemini.google.com. The functions that you'll be looking at are all free functions for functionalities. If you are on this page, we'll be looking at some functions here. So this is upload files, and some of them I'll just describe, and some of them will actually go into it. Upload files, so you upload any document, and then you ask Gemini questions to retrieve information, to create infographics from that folder or from that document. So this is where you upload. You can also upload from a drive, and then you can also upload from either photos or notebook. So these are different ways to add content to Gemini, and then either edit or query or create multimodal content from the content that you have uploaded already. So this is the way to upload and to add material to Gemini. And then this is now creating fresh content. So you can create image. There's Canvas, which is now for coding or writing or making slides. We'll get into deep research. I'll mention something about music, and also there's something called Gems. Gems is right here. So I'll show you a few things. So let's start our demo. So the first demo, so let me show you here. So if you remember our persona, so a persona is the task, the role that you are playing in this example that you're having. So you're a digital editor of a news platform, and I'm exploring unique ideas to report and display engaging World Cup content for a younger demographic target audience. Provide for ideas that will include website and social media content. So in this case, you are using Gemini as a platform to generate ideas. So this is where probably, if I was given this task, this is my role as a digital editor. I've been given the assignment to create a strategy for the World Cup coverage. So this is probably now where I'm starting, and our target audience is Gen Z and younger millennials. So it will give me 4 ideas I've suggested. So the strategy here for the first one is what we call this 20-second minute hype hub. So if you're following the World Cup, There's a water break at some point, 22nd minute for each half. And this is where now probably Gemini is asking me or is telling me with that 22nd minute break, I can create content for my audience, which will include a website integration. So I'll ask on the Hype blog, I'll ask our audience, will Mbappe score before halftime? So it's very engaging. And then also include social media campaign on TikTok and Instagram stories. So this is the first idea. This is the second idea. So this is for, everything that is happening around the World Cup, the players, the teams. So that's the culture and the lifestyle focus. So it gives me the strategy. It tells me what to do with the website integration and also the social media campaign. So for every idea, it also gives me the input, what I need to think about when it comes to website integration. And then there's idea number 3. So this is no context World Cup, meme, chaos tracker, and all that. And I can actually ask Gemini to provide, for example, if I'm interested to pursue strategy number 3, it can start creating memes and a tracker. And for example, in this website integration, it can create an idea of vibrating. Vibrating is just like a system for comments and allowing users to react with custom emojis or community voted labels like pure chaos or iconic behavior. So you can see the kind of ideas that I'm getting. So if I'm a digital editor, I can now refine these ideas. I can get, leads on how to, have a strategy for the World Cup. So this is the first prompt that I have. As you can see here, this is the prompt I've used. Now on your end, now you can be more specific and provide the target audience, is primarily from France or Australia or whichever country that you come from. And you can now be very specific so that it refines your target, your output of the prompt. So that's the first part. Now we go to the next one. The next function here is what we call deep research. Deep research. So let me go to deep research. I show you. So for deep research, this is where you find that functionality. Yeah, deep research. So for deep research, it creates an in-depth report of any particular subject. And from that deep report, you can create other content types. And we'll get to that next. So this is the deep research. Let me just quickly show you. So my deep research, when I did my query, I was interested in this question. I wanted Gemini Deep Research to answer this question in an in-depth report. So what does it take to develop a national football team that consistently qualifies for the World Cup and progresses to the quarters or finals? And then I give it more information, provide a report that can inform a strategy for a football association and all that. And I included more information. So the first thing that it does, it gives me the plan. So it gives me the plan of how it's going to do this research. And I'll have a look at this plan. And then if I'm okay with it, I can go ahead and start the research. If I need more things included in the research, I can edit the plan. So I did that. I didn't have any changes. So I just started the research. And within a few minutes, I got this report. And here is the report. So you can see it's quite in-depth. You can see the first thing, let me just show you. It gives me a table of content. It's an in-depth report on football development and ensuring, just picking some examples from different countries on how they have created a strategy for football development, ensuring that they reach to the World Cup and they perform well at the World Cup. So you can see it's quite an in-depth report. And the beauty of this report is that after every paragraph, it shows me the sources. Yeah, the sources where it got that information from. And you can scroll down, including these tables that it has. So you can see all the way down and now going deeper into the different frameworks that different countries have used to get into the World Cup. So it's quite an in-depth report, which you can, get into it, read more. But beyond this, now I know if you publish this, you might not get so many people to read. But what you can do with this, you can either share it as it is, export to docs, or copy the content, or you can create simpler content types based on this report. So you can create a web page, an infographic, a quiz, a flashcard, or an audio overview like a podcast, or you can even describe the kind of content you want, like an app. So I created a few from this. Let me just show you. So once you click on create here, it will go ahead and create. Let me show you. So I created web page. So from here, I created a web page. So this is how it looks like. So when it creates a web page, it gives a preview and a code. So you can see now this code, you can put it on your website and your audience can come and have a look at. So what does it take to create a winning national football team? So you can see it's interactive and go to different sections and you'll see how it has created this. So you can see it's quite engaging. So you can just take this code and put it on your website as it is. So that's our web page. You can also create an audio overview. So for audio overview, if you open this, it gives you a script. And if you're not happy with the script, you can edit the script and it will give you like an interactive audio overview so that you are able to change between different. There are two people. There are two sort of people talking about this script, and you'll be able just to hear it once you generate the script on your end. And then another thing that you can do here is, for example, what I did is I created like an infographic from the report, and I actually gave it. I followed up with a prompt that the script should appeal to younger fans who want to know how winning teams make it to the World Cup. Avoid technical and complicated frameworks and use a lot of examples in an informal tone. So this is the infographic which you can use on your website, or you can post it whichever platform that you feel is best. So you can see this is the infographic that it created, and the code, if you want to change the code, the color, the look and feel, then you can actually go ahead and do that because the code is right there. I think I've seen a question somewhere. If you can use this on Substack, yeah, you can, as long as you know how to use the code, you'll be able to use it on Substack also. So as long as it's a web page, you can do that. I think the only thing is to know how to use the code and how well you can show you that there are different kinds of file types, or rather the content types that can be generated from that same report. I'll just quickly go back and show you that. So this is the prompt, and make sure you're on deep research so that it's able to generate the report. And then you open it, and from that side, that's when now you can looking for where create here. Now from the create, that's when you create a web page, an infographic, a quiz, a flashcard, or audio overview. So audio is like a podcast, like a 5-minute podcast discussing the content, and you can actually give it specific instructions on the focus of that podcast, the same way you can do with all these other outputs. So that's deep research, and you can do this in less than 15 minutes, create different kinds of file types, And if you have a bit of knowledge of the code, you can change the colors, you can change the look and feel, and you can follow up with better prompts so that it's very specific on what you want. All right, so that's deep research. So let me go to the next thing. So here is, we'll be looking at create image. So for create image, you'll want to go and make sure that you're on the create image tab. So that here, let me just come back here, create image. So it's either you edit an image or visualize. So my create image here, this is the prompt that I provided. Create a social media card template that I can use to inform our news website readers about World Cup scores and updates. The website is called Sports 1+1. We are targeting Gen Z and younger millennials, and our colors are bold, orange, and purple. So you can see the more information you give, the better. And this is the output. So this is very, it may not be reflective of the true, but it just gives you a template that you can use. If you feel like, this is something that is good, so you can, again, go back to the prompt and ask, remove the scores, but it gives you just an idea of what kind of social media card that you need or you want. So this is something that you can do. And especially for smaller newsrooms that you may not have a designer as part of your team, maybe it's something that you'll want to consider. It's very useful as a resource, and you'll see the kind of information that you have. Okay, so that's for images. And yes. Is there a question? Okay. So that's for images. Then we go to something else. There's something called Canvas here. So for Canvas, or before we go to Canvas, I want to show you something called gems. Gem. Let me show you gem. So a gem is found here. This is gems. So for gems, those are like, these are prompts that you create without having to repeat the prompts every time. If maybe you have a repetitive task, maybe social media content or headlines or summaries, you just create this prompt once and for all, and then just put the content in and it does the rest. So I'll show you a prompt or a gem that I've created, and then probably can give you a minute or two to just try it on your end. But the way to go to create your own gem is you click on the top or on the left panel, you'll see gems. Just click on that. You should see something like this. This is what you should see on your end. And if you want to create, so there are different gems that have already been pre-made by Google. But these are just as an example to see how you can create one. But if you want to create one, you can just click on new gem. This is where you go. I'll show you a gem and then we'll do it together. So this is a gem that I was creating for World Cup. So the gem here, I want to quickly find background information of the teams that are playing in the World Cup. So these are team profiles. So what you do, you click on create gem, you give it a title, World Cup Teams 2026, you give it a description, and then the instructions that you need. Provide a profile of teams playing the 2026 World Cup, the key players, the group they're playing, fixtures, World Cup history, coaching staff, and so on. So this is your instruction. You can improve this instruction by clicking on this Gemini tool, and it will generate more background information to help you. And I'll show you. I clicked this, and it gave me much more information. Let me show you. So this is the improved instruction. So the purpose and goals, so to provide a comprehensive and factual profile of national football teams participating in the World Cup, and then, deliver accurate historical context, detailed essential information, and so on, and behavior and rules. So you go through this before you save it. If you feel like there's something that needs to change, you can edit and add, but you can see this is more, it is more detailed than my initial one. And if you're happy with this, what I just changed here is that I added the overall tone: informative, informal, targeting younger audience. If you're happy with that, you just need to save it. And then you start using it. You can either share it or start using it. So start chat. So what I'll do, I will just use the hosts. So I'll just need to type Mexico. I don't need to say much, so it will go to the prompt to my gem, and it will give me a quick overview of the Mexican team, the key players, the tournament history, group fixtures, top scorers, coaching staff, and then it will ask me which other team would you like to investigate. So if you are working on a story, a World Cup story, you do not need to, have a full team or take so much time working on the background story. You have already created a gem which is shareable. All you need to do is just type in the name of the country or the team, and it will do the rest. So the way to know that it's a gem, you'll see that it's written, okay, maybe Canada. Does Canada not have a, that's very strange. Okay, let me go back to the gem itself. You go to gems. So this is, you always go back to gems and you'll find the gems here. Click on that. Click on Ghana. All right, so this is the profile of Ghana. You can see the journey, the history, key players, group fixtures, and top scorers. And you can now go on ahead. So you can think about your newsroom and what are some of the, probably the regular kind of content that you create that you can share with the team, that they do not have to do it from scratch. So you create a gem, you share it. And the way to share that gem so that anyone in the newsroom can use is coming here and sharing it here. You can share it and they can use the same prompt to get information. And if you feel like there's something that needs to be added, you can come back here and edit that prompt or the gem itself to add more information or to add more context, and you'll be able to do it here. So you can edit, and if you are happy with that, now you can just update. Are we clear on gems? Any question on gems? Great. All right, so the other function that I'll show you is, come back here. So within Gemini again is what we call Canvas. So Canvas is for visual iteration. So if you're thinking about coding, if you want a presentation, it's for more interactive. It's like a lab that, you want to brainstorm more visual elements of your workflow. And I'll also show you an example. So the first one, so you click on, let me just go back here. So once you click on Canvas, so this is the prompt that I gave it. It's the prompt. It's on Canvas. So I'm thinking about mini site designs where we'll publish World Cup related content. The site's name is Sports Plus One. Use bold, orange, and purple colors. And my ask here is provide interactive incentives for Gen Z users to share first-party data. So this is, as an editor, I'm looking for ideas that can help me pick first-party data, so they can register and then they can get some interactive elements. So I'm looking for some design ideas. So this is what I asked, and this is what I got. Let me first close this so that you see. So this is the prompt. I have developed 3 distinct mini site concepts for Sports One that do that. So if I open this, you'll see it gives me the first concept, the design aesthetic. So it first gives me the texts, the ideas in text. So I can now go through this and see which one would be more aligned to our strategy. What do we actually want to do? And then it gives me some notes for Gen Z engagement. So you want to think about low friction, the visual currency, and transparency. So you have to be very transparent and easy to use. There are not too many roadblocks for usage. So this is the ideas that it has provided. Now I go ahead and I ask it, I need a visual mock-up of all the 3 ideas after the text. So this is the visual mock-up. So this is the first one. So this is like predict the winner to win 500 gold coins. And so this is, it's called Bracket Plus One Arena. This is the second one. So it's like, you know, who's your playmaker. So the best player maker, or the one who will get the most points. And this is just a pulse meter, like how are you feeling about this match? Is it interesting? Is it boring? And so on. And then the code is here. This is the code. And then the preview. Now, if I feel like I'm interested in one of the mockups, so I'll just scroll down. I'll just say I was interested in concept 1. So it went on and provided a mockup of the first one. So it's giving me some ideas on how to implement this on my website. And it gives me like, want to climb the global leaderboard. So the global leaderboard, you enter your email to lock prediction. So you can see how that will display on the website, on the mini site rather. Yeah. So, and then the code is here. So this is like a lab. You are experimenting, you are iterating, you're getting feedback on the kind of ideas that you can implement on that mini site. So this is well done, as it happens best on when you're actually looking at using Canvas. It's called Canvas, and Canvas has many other functionalities, including creating infographics, creating presentations. You can use Canvas. Any question on Canvas? Are you okay with Canvas? All right. Okay, so the other functionalities, I will not get too much into it, but let me just come back here. So we have looked at create image. As I've said, it's powered by Nano Banana. And with create image, you can either edit or you can create completely new images. I've talked about Canvas. It's really your lab to iterate, to experiment. Deep research creates very detailed reports, and from those reports, you're able to create other content types. And then you'll see there are more tools, and these are all free on Gemini. Then there's create music. So for create music, you can't create music. It's supported by Lyra, so it gives you like a 30-second clip. Now, if you're into production, maybe a podcast, or you want to include an outro, intro, you can use, just describe the track, give it the genre that you want, and it will create a quick 30-second clip, and which you can use either for an intro or outro. So this is some different genres that you can use. Just make sure that you are locked into the right functionality right there. Okay, so that's Gemini. The only other thing that maybe I might mention about Gemini for more personal learning and personal productivity is guided learning. So this is for studying and learning new things. So it's very classroom setup. There's a question, it takes you one step at a time. So if you want to learn new things, then probably you might want to use guided learning. And then you have personal intelligence. So this is connects. It's not by default. You have to sign up or sign in or enable this on your Gemini. By default, it comes not signed in. So what happens if you sort of sign in or if you enable it, it picks information from a calendar so that Gemini now becomes like a personal assistant. So it can pick from calendar, from photos, from maps, and you're able to use assistant to plan the day or to plan the week. Yeah. Right. Any question on Gemini? Because we're done with Gemini. All right. So the next tool we look at is Notebook LM. And I'll quickly just show you the functionalities so that you see what you can do. So with Notebook LM, you can upload collections of documents and files to reveal patterns and trends. So it's like your own personal research assistant. And then you cross-check sources and timelines quickly, and you can generate fresh angles to explore further. You can actually even create new different kinds of content types. So the process is quite easy. So you upload documents, notes, and files relevant to your story or coverage area, or a document or government or research paper, and then you start asking questions. So the beauty with Notebook LM, it will only give you answers from the source that you're provided. That's the beauty of Notebook LM. And then you can use the virtual research assistant and then create new content for internal use or to inform and engage your audience. So I'll just go to Notebook LM. So if you go to notebooklm.google, so this is the tool here. You try Notebook LM, then you open. So this is what I did on my end. There's just a recent, there's a report that has just been released. It's called the Reuters Institute Digital News Report. Sure, you'll find a lot of valuable information. So I just uploaded it, and now I can query using Notebook LM. So you can see from here, I can now focus on exactly what I'm looking for. For example, I wanted to see what are the opportunities for new platforms targeting younger audiences. And it will only give me information from the report itself, as you can see. So the first, of course, is leveraging video-first discovery and depth, and then adopting a creator-led model, integrating AI for interpretation and explanation, capitalizing on the shift in smart TV usage, and delivering impartiality in accessible formats. So the sources of all that information, if you just hover on any of these numbers, it will show you where it got that information from the report only. Now, if you have more than one report, if you can even up to have 50 reports, you can decide where the answers should come from by just selecting that, like that. You can just select where you want that information to come from. And then from on the right panel here, you will see that there are different kinds of, just blow it up a bit. There are different kinds of content types that you can generate from the report that you have just uploaded or the information that you have. You can generate an audio overview. And if you click on this link here, you'll be able to decide on, do you want a deep dive? Do you want a very brief video audio overview? Do you want a critique or do you want a debate? And then you can provide additional instructions here, and then you can define whether you want it short, default, or long. And then you can also come here and decide, okay, I want a slide deck. So this is a presentation. And again, you can define exactly what you want from that. So I just picked one, infographic. So there's video overview, mind maps that shows you the connections between different concepts and frameworks. The reports, it will generate a deep report based on it can combine all these sources into one report, and it will be able to do that. Flashcards, if you're studying something and you want just to understand, to test yourself, you can also generate a quiz, an interactive quiz, which you can use maybe for your audience. So I just clicked on one here, infographic, and I defined exactly what I wanted. I wanted, for newsmakers, what is important for Gen Z readers or audiences in terms of how they consume content and how do they relate with the newsmakers. And you can see the kind of the infographic that I've gotten from that generation. So it gives you a quick snapshot of what you're interested in. So if you have, maybe you have received a complex government report and you want to narrow down to just a particular section, and you want to include, to just generate a visual representation of that section, you can quickly do that and include in your news report on an article or social media, so that your audience is able to understand that content in an easier way. All right, so that's a Notebook LM. And again, you can just try it out on your end. You can share that notebook. So any notebook you create, is by default, it's yours, it's private, unless you share it with a colleague or with your team. But otherwise, it remains your preserve. It's only yours. This is, you can continue typing here, asking questions, and so on. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I know it was fast, but maybe I can just quickly mention something about what we call Google Trends, the new Google Trends. So if you go to trends.google.com, you'll see just an additional thing that was added a few months ago. So if you come to explore, just come here. So trends.google.com, explore. By default, it takes where you're located, but I can go to worldwide. Let me see. Worldwide. And then Gemini was integrated here, so it's very easy to use. So it suggests terms that you can search for. World Cup for younger. Let's see. Sorry, I should have done it here. So it suggests, should have done it here. So it will give me some suggested topics to consider. Topics. So if you do it here, now it will generate a few topics for you that may be interesting for that demographic. I can see here, these are the things, the kind of things that will be they'll be interested in. This is the past year. Maybe you want to do it over the past week. You can change that. You'll see what has changed. So this is FIFA World Cup, FIFA World Cup 2026, and you can see the most trending, and you can see the comparison in different parts of the world. So if you want to change to your country, you just come here and change to your country. For some countries, you can even go down to either states or provinces, and to your localities for some countries, not all. Okay, so that's it for today. I know that probably we might have gone through this with another cohort, but know that as we upgrade or we add more functionalities or we add more tools, I'm sure we'll be talking with Anna just to see how we can provide this kind of information to you. I hope this was useful and you are working behind as I was also showing you the examples. Before I go, maybe I'll just share this as feedback. You can just scan that and then just give us the feedback that we need and also post the link there. But now I'll just allow if there's any questions or any comments, I'll be more than happy to answer that. But that's the QR code for the feedback, and then also post the link on the chat. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ken. I think that this was very, very useful. Specifically interested in all the resources about the World Cup. But also, I think that in many ways, the possibilities to assist our work and produce better results and being more aligned with what our audiences need in terms of information is key, and specifically deliver it in more timely ways and more attractive ways. I think that overall is a huge opportunity. So thank you, Ken. If there are other questions or anything, please let me know. You will receive the recording, and just we will also be reaching out for new opportunities. Again, don't miss the chance to apply to the Journalism AI Skills Lab. Applications are closing this Sunday, and this is a very, very important opportunity for leaders that want to leverage the power of AI to solve important challenges in their organizations and in their day-to-day day-to-day routines. So I'm gonna just leave again the link here soon. And this is it on the chat.